If you guys want to be updated about my latest videos on YouTube, then all you have to do is follow my socials. My Twitter and my Instagram will be down below. What's going on, guys? Bombsticker back with another video. And just before we get started today, I want to thank you guys for some of the feedback on my last video. As soon as I uploaded it, it kind of like it blew up and then it paused. So, but I do appreciate most of you guys who had positive feedback on it, left a like and stuff like that. So I figured we'd talk about iOS 14 again today. So today we're going to be talking about what's new on the public release of iOS 14 and what we can possibly see in the future. So without further ado, let's get started. So a lot of you guys probably know that yesterday when I uploaded a video, earlier yesterday, a lot of us who have a developer account or who have a public beta profile received the GM for iOS 14, which is basically the full version of iOS 14, just those people got it earlier than the public people. Earlier today, the public version released. It released to the public, to the people who didn't have beta profiles or who have a developer account. And so because it's here, I want to talk about some of the newest features that can possibly help you have more of a better opinion to upgrade to iOS 14, because as of right now, it is available. So first off, we get these nice little widgets right here. If you are a past Jailbreak user, you would know a tweak called Vlocks Reloaded that actually gave you these widgets right here, but I feel like Apple did a 10 times better job than what the Jailbreak actually could have showed you. Now, because the Jailbreak, I only say this because Jailbreaks are only able to change what you see on the springboard, so I can't give much hate because they physically can't make everything look as good as possible. So with Apple, with Apple being Apple, they did a very good job of making everything look nice, even rounding these little corners and the edges, and everything just looks super, super nice. Another thing is we have an app wall. If you swipe to the right all the way until you swipe down this app wall, you can see that we have a bunch of folders of apps that we have previously used or apps that we have not used. We have an others tab, we have socials, creativity, arcade, and it is super, super nice to actually have this app wall, and it's very, very organized. Another thing we have is actually an Iris Siri, where if you hold down the home button, your Siri actually looks like a little ball. And that's actually really cool, and I'm actually really glad they added that feature. Another thing is that the music icon was also changed, and it looks a lot better from the last one. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, and you're probably thinking this is more important than what I'm showing you, but a lot of you are probably wondering how it stays on certain devices. And I can tell you from experience, on an iPhone 8, iOS 14 has been running absolutely amazing on my device. Considering the fact that my battery life has been 10 times better than what it was when I was jailbroken with Odyssey and Uncover, I definitely can't complain. My battery health has not been this way since I first bought the phone, and iOS 14 has definitely risen my battery life. It lasts so much longer, and you can see that as my activity goes out through the day, the phone did have a dying point towards here, but this was from this morning, and that didn't die until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So from 6 o'clock to 2 in the afternoon, the phone actually began to die. And battery life is really good. My screen time has been on for about 16 hours and 50 minutes, and the screen's only been off for 5 minutes. So that just goes to show you how well this actually runs, with YouTube taking up 35% of the battery life, and my VPN taking up 15%. The battery life is still amazing on iOS 14. So we'll go ahead and click on battery health too, and our maximum capacity is 92%. So I believe that it's actually very good, because it says lower capacity may result in fewer hours of usage between charges. So a 92% battery capacity is actually really, really good. Another thing is its speedness. I would do a speed test with a different phone, but I currently do not have. I have another iPhone, but the iPhone that I have is currently not charged at the moment. And it's not even running iOS 14 or iOS 13. But I can definitely say that my brother has a phone. It's a 6S running iOS 13.6, and I could guarantee almost
I don't think they want to see it. It's got cracks all over.
I could guarantee iOS 14 would beat iOS 13.6. So the speed on iOS 14 is actually really good, depending on what phone you have. Now, I saw some videos like Sanders Tech and a bunch of other people that said that the iPhone 6S and the iPhone 7, I heard that they don't run very well on iOS 14. However, I'm probably going to disagree with Sanders Tech there, because my brother has an iPhone 6S and he ran beta 2 and it ran okay for him. I did notice some lags whenever he was swiping through his home pages, but other than that, it ran pretty much perfectly. Other thing you can notice is, another cool thing is that these widgets, such as the clock, they change color depending on your thing. Now, usually that changes to white. It is black when I turn on dark mode and white when I turn off dark mode. Why it didn't turn white is very confusing. Usually it turns white. Anyway, these are some of the new wallpapers too. We got some new wallpapers. If you go over to the settings and we go to wallpapers, you're going to see some new ones. So if you're wanting to update to iOS 14, these wallpapers are actually the reason why I updated. You can see we have some very nice wallpapers there, and they do change color depending on your dark mode variancy. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into some of the stuff that we know that might be releasing in future iOS 14 releases. Now, throughout the betas, we all thought we were going to get a brand new wallpaper UI, and we actually never did. Nobody actually really knows why, but they just never released and gave us a new UI. However, a YouTuber of mine that I know, why did I say of mine? A YouTuber that I know, by the name of Ice Cool Tech, actually has predicted that we'll get a new wallpaper UI in the upcoming iOS 14.1, which would normally be a patch update for if we had a jailbreak or if any bugs were found in iOS 14. Now, we're most likely going to be seeing iOS 14.1 in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks, and maybe even a couple months. It really just depends on how buggy iOS 14 actually is. And if it's not buggy, they won't be releasing 14.1 for a while. At least not until they feel like they need to get us up on the way to iOS 15. Another thing that I figured out was called OS Recovery, and again, iSchool Tech predicts that it'll be released on iOS 14.4, which we can probably see in about a 4-month time period, depending on how many bugs are found in future releases. Another thing about the Apple Watches, if you are on WatchOS 7, you would know that on the Series 3 we have received these new Apple Face watches, and we've actually only received one. However, in the Apple event, or in the little video Apple sent to us yesterday, we saw more than just one set of watch faces, and we saw actually a whole bunch, from the Memojis to different analog watch ones, and I'm hoping we get those on the Series 3, and not just the Series 6, because the Series 3, 4, 5 are still 3 of the newest Apple Watches as of 2020, so I really hope we get those very soon. The iPad Air, the brand new iPad Air, was going to be releasing with an A14 Bionic chip, and it is most likely going to be shipped on iOS 14. Apple has said that they do not intend on shipping any newer iOS devices out on anything lower than 14, possibly because of the jailbreaks. We all know that Apple does not like us jailbreaking our iPhones, and they will try their best to stop us from jailbreaking. However, we always figure it out. So in order to slow this figuring out process down, Apple is going to be shipping out the iPads and the iPhones and even the Series 6 on the newest versions of watchOS and iOS. Now, I said watchOS because we seem to be getting closer and closer to an Apple Watch jailbreak. However, that's not the case, as the Apple Watches can't be charged through a physical cord and only a wireless charger. So will there ever be an Apple Watch jailbreak? I actually don't know. We saw some signs of one back in 2018, and then those signs kind of just died. But that's all I have to say about iOS 14 and about Apple's new releases. Tune back in tomorrow for hopefully a new video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.